Vucevic? Dr. Corey?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Ms. Lamont?
Here.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
And Mr. Coon?
Here.
Former President?
So the Open Public Meeting Act statement, the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and to attend the meeting of bodies in which any business affecting.
Get the microphone closer.
Here, let me just move the whole thing with the file.
Here, I got it. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, a legal notice of this meeting has been posted on the official bulletin board at the school, Borough Hall, and sent to the record in the Star Ledger. Notice has been posted on the district website. Can you please rise for pledge of allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. At this time, we're going to be conducting interviews of 3 candidates who are with us this evening for 2 open board seats for the Edgewater Board of Education. What we're going to do is we're going to ask, each board member is going to ask a question, and then each candidate will take turns answering that question. Let's see, we'll start with the first question. Sure, that's a great idea. Yeah, well, maybe you folks can actually to the front row.
Yeah, do you have a mic?
Yes, I can. Okay, we're going to take,
The only thing that I would like to say that, it just didn't come up right then, is that, for each new question, if we're gonna start with a different, one of the candidates to say it first, you know what I mean? So for the first question, let's just go in order, right? Perhaps you would answer first, second and third. The second question, you would answer first, second and third. And we'll just rotate it around, so no one person is always, in the.
Chris, your name is Chris. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions about the procedure, or, what we're doing here?
So we're gonna answer the questions, everyone's gonna answer the first question, and we'll go on to the second one.
yes, and let me lower that. Jenny, can you lower that? I mean, as easy as you can for us. We apologize, we're in the middle of new sound system.
That's good though.
We're hoping actually by the next board meeting to have a new sound system.
Can I get, yeah, I think this one.
So we have Chris, we have Christina, and we have Monica. Okay. So, Chris, I'm gonna start with you. What motivates you to serve on the board?
Well, thank you for having me here. I have a 5-year-old that currently attends the school.
A little bit louder.
I have a 5-year-old stepson who attends the school, so I'm also 25-year resident in this beautiful town, so I want to give back. I've been very lucky and be very happy to have found this place. And, I love the school ever since I brought him here a year and a half ago, and in awe of this beautiful building was built 100 years ago. I like to contribute. I have the time, and I think I have the skills that can help out if needed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move to Mom. You want to do Christina first? Let's do Christina, because you're in the middle. What motivates you to serve on the board?
I have enjoyed being a past board member. Stepped down to gives more time to family. And I was very concerned when at first we didn't know how many applicants there might be for the vacant positions. And I would like to bring back my enthusiasm and my expertise if as needed, to come back to the board.
Okay, did you want to repeat the question?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I love serving community things, throughout my career before being a parent. I always try to do things in the community, even, since high school, but now as an adult, and being a parent, my child is a second grader, and in these years I've participated, whether it be class parent for 3 years or PTO, which I've stepped down to similarly to get more time. But I do want to be more involved in troubleshooting things that have caught my eye, not only individually, but as a community of moms and dads, things that like we're curious about, like, hey, how can we make this better? Or actually, like, we need to have a better understanding, and to be that type of conduit of understanding and like translation to the community. I think that would be kind of boots on the ground to understand that. And yeah, just to give back. I mean, this place is great and it's our children, so.
Thank you.
I'll just keep it, we'll start the second question.
Yeah.
Okay.
What skills and expertise do you have that will make you a strong candidate for this position?
Well, I am a commercial producer, which means, I've come in contact with budgets ranging as little as 20,000, ranging up to like 10 million, meaning, a lot of different, obstacles and people, and challenges. So I'm just looking at budgets, I'm looking at dealing with purchase orders, petty cash, forecasting budgets, looking at variances, but also just the political part of it, right? You're working with the director, then you're working with the executive producer, you're working with an actor. Everybody has their own interest, but at the end of the day, you still have the product. And I see that type of skill set translating to this, whereas the product is the making sure that the schools are run the way they're supposed to, that everybody has a different agenda, that we have to all kind of like work together, navigate that, be at the center, and make sure that, the overall objective is getting there, but also keeping in mind other people's, goals that may or may not work, but you still have to make it work, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
You want me to repeat the question? You
What
want me to repeat it, or you?
do I bring to the table, basically?
What skills and expertise do you have that will make you a strong candidate for this position?
Got 18 and a half years of experience on this school board. I've also been the representative frequently outside of town to county and state organizations within New Jersey school boards. And I also, I stayed very committed to the community. I'm not currently a parent of a child in school. I do have a grandchild in town. And what I can offer is not having to, I don't have a learning curve, the way that some other folks might. And I would love to just be able to come back in and round peg round hole again.
Thank you. So, I have a degree in business administration and another one in mechanical engineering from Europe. 21 years ago, I passed through this town in Mass and fell in love. Luckily found a spot and I built a small building, so I'm a registered builder as well. My current position is with an internet service provider that is geared towards high-end developers, builders, property owners. So my expertise, if I'm selected to join the board, will be to help the board negotiate any type of agreements. I'm very well versed and quite business savvy. Prior to this position, I was 25 years a senior director with a large telecommunication companies. I had a team of 47 people, so I believe I had human skills and understanding of human nature to contribute to the board when it's, especially in terms of outside negotiations, if you need contractor, etc. Or in addition, I'm really vested in the success of my stepson and all the children in Edgewater. It's a beautiful facility, and I'd like to contribute whichever way I can with my time and skills. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you give the microphone? No, it's okay. I don't need it. She can hear.
Give your message again.
What are your priorities if selected to serve? Priorities.
Who do you ask it first?
Christine.
Priorities. Priorities would be,
A, B, C.
or 1, 2, 3. My priorities would be to work with the existing board. One of the things I really would have liked to do had I stayed on the board would have been to offer some of my experience with the boards and some of the ins and outs type of knowledge, the layperson terminology, and help the new members of the board to feel more and more comfortable in this role. And the other major priority is helping to search for and hire a new superintendent.
Thank you.
What are your priorities if selected to serve?
Thank you.
Should I repeat or you got it?
My first priority would probably not having any knowledge of the systems, protocols, chain of command, would just to be a sponge. Listen, learn, take your advice, really just try to understand like how things are done, not only in this system, but statewide. So intrastate and interstate. I think my second priority would be communicating to you, to all of you, some of the concerns that I've been getting from, fellow parents. And then my third and last concern is to understand what your priorities are and how I can help you bring that to fruition.
Thank you. The core mission of, in my view, of the board is to produce citizens that are independent, thinkers, confident, smart, and that will continue to excel in life. B, to do this while within a budget and sometimes below budget. And then C, by completing the first two missions, put Edgewater on the map of New Jersey as the premium town with the best schools that will subsequently translate in multiple benefits, increased property values, and better lifestyle for everyone in town. Thank you.
Hi everyone, we are very pleased to have you. This question goes to Chris. Have you ever volunteered in the local community? And if so, what have you been involved in?
During COVID, I attempted to join the fire department, there was no openings. I did volunteer in my previous community, which was North Oregon, and they had that beautiful park, the Braddock Park. So we did plant trees, we beautified the park, and I was in one of those luxury condo buildings, so it was a beautiful initiative. But, I'm open to any worthwhile suggestions. I'm in town, I'm not going anywhere.
I've seen you volunteer
Monica, you're the next.
Oh, have I volunteered?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I volunteer my opinion all the time. Yes, of course, school, PTO, class parent, cupcakes, that type of stuff. As far as Edgewater community, I haven't had a chance to participate, but, now I feel a little guilty and I should.
Not at all, we all do it. I'll keep it short. Started out with, helping to build the playground at EDG. Then we went to, T-ball and up through Little League and,
Baseball?
12-year-olds are. Baseball, helped with the soccer program when it first came into town. I've been the appointee to the library board, and, other than, obviously, my school board experience, I also, took over chairing the Edgewater Alliance for the prevention of alcohol and drug abuse, and trying to keep that little tiny entity going. But it's, my other near and dear to my heart besides school board is, helping our children in, resisting and being stronger people outside school.
Thank you. Alright, so you want to hand it back to Chris? Perfect. Do you have the time to commit to board meetings and training, and how would you prioritize your time as a board member?
Yes, I do. Currently work from home, go to the city once a week. So I have plenty of time and I'm very flexible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna go with a quick yes, very available, and can you pass it on over?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
So at this point, so this is the conclusion of the interview portion. I'm not sure just physically how you guys do your executive session, I'm not sure. Do you stay here, do they leave?
We're gonna stay here.
We're gonna stay here.
So, if we could just ask you to step out, we'll probably need.
Wait, we'll leave, right?
Yeah. Give us like 15
No,
minutes.
no,
No, you're gonna step out. You're only, please don't leave.
Nobody's gonna raise their right hand.
Yes, yeah. Two of you are
Two of
raising
you
your
are
right
raising
hand.
your right hand.
So if you could just step outside, we probably need about 15 minutes, it's longer. Great. We'll let you know. Can you do a roll call?
We have to, first thing we have to do is adjourn the work session.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, motion to adjourn,
Motion.
all in favor? Yes. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna call to order the regular meeting, January 23rd at 7:30. Can you do a roll call, please?
Certainly. Mr. Vucinic, Dr. Corey, Ms. Salon,
Here.
Ms. Molina,
Here.
Mr. Clinton. Here. Call present.
Thank you. Open Public Meeting Act statement. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and to attend a meeting of bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, a legal notice of this meeting has been posted on the official bulletin board of the school, Borough Hall, sent to the record and the Star Ledger, and notice has been posted on the district website. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to read the superintendent's report tonight. Mrs. Coucher has a personal obligation that she did not make to see this meeting. Just going to report enrollments, current enrollments in the district for GW School, total of 344 students. The EVG School, currently has a total of 376 students. The Leonia Middle School, thank you, I'm so sorry. The Leonia Middle School has 155 students, and Leonia High School 330. Next, on January 15th, we had early dismissal for students and professional day for staff. Last month, the International Buddies Program hosted a holiday cultural food exchange. It has been such a nice addition to our clubs, and it's a great way for our families to meet each other and share their cultures. On January 30th, we have the EBG Spelling Bee. We delivered 2 boxes of clothes to the DX Marketing, a company in Edgewater, that delivered the clothes and materials to families who were affected by the California wildfires. The EBG school is also sponsoring a coat drive with Family Matters of Bergen County, sponsored by the 5th grade student council. You will see on the agenda that Trish Morales and Joy Vega are retiring. They will be greatly missed. Combined, they have 68 years of service to the children of Edgewater. Very, very commendable. Excuse me. We will invite them later in the year to offer them our best wishes. Both GW and EBG are participating in the Great Kindness Challenge from January 27th to the 31st. Its motto is 1 week, 1 checklist, 1 motto, and endless possibilities. Tonight is our math night for the community. Thank you, Ms. Ahern, Ms. Julio, and Ms. Marciani for organizing a fun night for the community. Thanks to Ms. Ahern, EBG School will be participating in the Tang Math Challenge. This consists of math challenges that are pencil and paper and online games. The children complete the packet, they will receive a prize. The online games and packet consist of different math puzzles, a great way to foster a love of numbers and learning. Our 6th graders enjoyed a great time at the Museum of Natural History. They explored ancient fossils and learned of the wonders of space. Students engaged in hands-on learning and deepened their curiosity about the world around them. The trip was an incredible opportunity to connect classroom lessons with real-world discoveries, leaving everyone inspired, and able to learn more. On the agenda, you will also see the approval of the medical emergency response teams for each school. These teams are created to assist the nurse and administration in the case of school emergency. There is also approval for the memorandum of agreement. The MOA has been designed to ensure cooperation between law enforcement and education officials, and ultimately to protect the educational environment. This MOA is approved on an annual basis in every school district in New Jersey. And that is the superintendent.
Do you want to move on to yours?
Sure.
Introduce Mr. Lewis.
Yes, at this point, my report consists of a presentation of the audit by our auditor, Mr. Jeff Lewis.
Oh, Jeff, can you project?
You can use this
You
one,
project, you don't like?
I think I'm probably loud enough.
But we gotta hear you.
Good.
You won't want to hear me a little bit.
I don't know if it's.
Is it out?
You can switch.
This one?
Yeah. Sorry. Dealing with microphone issues. Do we have one that's not?
No, unfortunately not, but we are getting new ones.
Okay.
Come on, folks.
Do you want us to move the podium?
It's up to you.
Just move up closer.
Move the podium up?
Yeah, just closer.
There you go.
All right, good evening, everyone. Speaking to this?
Yes, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here tonight to present the audit. The audit was issued in early January. Our main responsibility when we complete the audit is to express opinions on your financial statements and opinions on your compliance with federal and state grant compliance. Both those opinions are modified. Unmodified means a clean opinion. Clean opinion means the financial statements are fairly stated, prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, and there were no scope limitations in the audit. An unmodified opinion on compliance means that you complied in all material respect with your grant requirements. Unmodified opinions on both the financial statements and grant compliance is a must in any school district audit. We also have to report on any internal control deficiencies and any material weaknesses. We had a few, and we'll go over them after we go through the surplus. We had 3 significant deficiencies, 1 material weakness. With respect to fund balance, if you want to follow along in the bigger audit book, on page 73, 73 is the last page of the C1 exhibit. It starts on page 69, goes to 73. The C1 exhibit is the budgetary comparison schedule of your general fund. The general fund is the major operating fund of the district. It's where 98% of your operating costs are accounted for, as well as also capital outlay costs. The schedule provides a line-by-line accounting of the revenues you brought in and the expenses you paid out. So if you ever want to know how much taxes were raised in any one year, you go to this schedule, you can go year to year and compare it. How much interest you earned, how much you spent on teacher salaries, so on and so forth. At the end of this schedule on page 73 is a summary of fund balance. And not all fund balance can be used as the board sees fit. The board, by resolution, has put certain monies aside in restricted fund balances for specific purposes, and then the state requires certain fund balances to be restricted and used in future years. So I'm going to go through fund balance and we'll explain to you what you have and how it changed from the year before. Overall, the district's fund balance, if you look at the middle column, actual, increased $2,449,375. You started the year at $21,142,000. You ended the year at $23,591,000. So you increased fund balance by almost $2.5 million. So you improved the financial position of the district. Of that $23.6 million roughly, you have capital reserve, money set aside by board resolution specifically to fund school facilities projects in the long-range facility plan. You had $15,890,217. That reserve increased by $2,642,000. You started with $13.2 million. You used $2.5 million during the year. Most of it went for the HVAC improvements in this building. And then you were able to transfer $5 million at the end of the year. And so you ended with $15,890, increasing it over $2.6 million. Capital reserve can only be used for those capital projects. You can't take it out and use it for teacher salaries, tuitions, health benefits. It's in this reserve. When you take it out and use it, if you don't use it all, it goes back. So,
Can I jump, an example of that, just like you said, we spent $2.something million on the HVAC project, roughly.
correct.
The original project was $4 million, but a lot of it was offset by, and Jim, jumping if I'm, just so, some of it was offset by grants that we got through.
Local recreation department.
Yeah, well, there was some
But there's also
other
the-
grants, ESSER grant or something.
Oh, yeah,
The HVAC project. So it was a $4 million project, some of the, half of that project was offset by grants that we received. That's why he says we only spent like $2.something million on the capital project, but it was a $4 million project. Just so, yeah, on
This
this.
is 100% correct. Maintenance reserve, $1,038,374. We increased that reserve by roughly $24,000. That reserve is at the maximum amount you're allowed to have. Maintenance reserves are funds put aside again by board. And can only be used for required maintenance of school facilities. Can't be used for capital, and it can't be used for regular operating costs. The difference between capital and maintenance is capital adds value to the building, adds life to it, so an addition, doing a whole new HVAC system, all new windows, where maintenance keeps the building in their current working condition. So you replace one window, you replace fixtures on the boiler, you replace a couple doors. Capital would be you do all the windows. You do all the doors. You replace the boiler. So you have $1,038,000 for those maintenance projects, and right now it's the maximum you're allowed to have. It basically represents 3% of your replacement cost of your buildings. And so it's a good thing. You max out there. You also have an emergency reserve. You had 348, 425 in emergency reserve that you have not earmarked for any purpose, and you have emergency reserve designated in the subsequent year's budget of $25,543. The $25,543 is being used in the 24-25 budget, so in this current year, and it has to be, and is being used for some security projects. Emergency reserve is a very difficult reserve to use. The only way the board could approve the use of it is to fund unbudgeted health benefit costs that exceed 4% of the budget, or to appropriate it at the time you adopt the budget for security projects. To use it for any other purpose, you need the county superintendent's approval. Considering the financial condition you're in, he would never let you use it because there is so much other pockets you have to draw money from. So it's a good reserve to have. It's like the rainy day fund. You also have this reserve at its max. 1% of your budget up to $1 million. Tuition adjustment reserves. The state of New Jersey allows you to put money away to fund any future tuition adjustment bills. Your tuition rates that you pay during the 23-24 year, the state of New Jersey, after they get the audit, the audits of all the districts, they recalculate all the tuition rates. And if your certified tuition rate, either you paying or you receiving, if the tuition rates are higher, you will get an additional bill. If the tuition rates are lower, you will get a refund. They let you put this money aside in case you get an additional bill, and then you can draw against the reserve rather than go into the budget and charge the budget. The thing with the reserve is, if you don't use it the year after you reserve it, it must be put into the subsequent year budget. So when you end the year 23-24, you had $1,010,000 in the tuition reserve. And that was the max you were allowed to have. If you do not use it during 24-25, that $1,010,000 will have to be used in the 25-26 budget as a revenue source. That will be what you have to use. You have to use it for that purpose. That compares to the tuition reserve that you put aside at the end of 22-23, which was 9/22. Which was designated for the subsequent year expenditures. So you had 9/22 from June 3rd to 23. You didn't use it during 23-24. So now you put it in as a revenue source for 25-26. Effective July 1, the 9/22 is gone. It loses its distinction. It's funding the expenses in the budget. And you will recalculate at the end of 25 the new tuition.
So there will be a second tuition reserve. It's just.
Yes,
It's just so that
one year drops, the next year comes in. You always have 2 years. You don't have to, but you excess surplus. In New Jersey, your unassigned fund balance or your unassigned surplus can only be 2% of your budget. And then there's some add-ons you're allowed to have, and we'll talk about that. After we did the transfers into the capital reserve, the maintenance reserve, the tuition reserve, calculating the maximum 2%, the amount you were over was the $1,580,865. That's the amount you were over the 2%. Those funds have to be used in the 25-26 budget as a revenues. You have absolutely no choice. So right now, as it stands for the 25-26 budget, you have the $1,580,000 and you got the $1,010,000. Those two is what you'll be putting in that budget as fund balance, or some portion of the $1,010,000. That compares to the excess surplus you had at June 30th of 23, which was $693,968. And those funds were what you were over 2% on June 30th of 23, and you're using them in 24-25 from the current year's budget. So on July 1 again, those funds are being used to fund the budget, so they lose their distinction, and when you close out at the end of June 30th of 25, everything will get recalculated on what the new excess surplus is. Year-end encumbrances, 428,208, that represents open commitments for purchases and contract awards where the goods or the services have not been rendered at the end of the year. You don't owe anybody money because they didn't give you anything, or they didn't provide you anything. But when those goods and services are rendered, you owe the money. So you gotta liquidate those purchase orders. So those purchase orders roll into the budget automatically. As the goods come in, the services rendered, you pay those bills. In all reality, those monies have probably already been liquidated at this point. Okay? You'll always have encumbrances out there. Also under assigned is designated for subsequent expenditures of $393,767. Those are the additional funds or fund balance you chose to use to balance the 24-25 budget. So you used the 922, you used the 693, and you chose to use an additional 393,767. And that's what you use to balance that budget. That leaves you, and again, those funds being used in this year, July 1, they basically lose their distinction and they're funding expenses now. So they're not available to fund future expenses. Unassigned is the, which you call free balance, surplus. Unassigned is a portion of fund balance you're only allowed to maintain 2% of your budget. But you're also allowed to add to that 2% any unbudgeted state aid you received during the year. You ended the year at $1,261,111. It represents 2% of your budget, which is roughly $611, plus $587,000 of unbudgeted extraordinary aid, plus another $61,000 of unbudgeted non-transportation aid. The key to the unbudgeted aids that are in this number is the board by resolution during this year can appropriate those funds to the budget. So if something comes up, something's unbudgeted, you can draw into the unassigned fund balance, and you can draw off those monies and appropriate it into the budget. The only time you need county approval is if you use it for construction services. Any other expense, the board makes that decision to use up to those funds. To dip into the 2%, you will have to have commissioner approval, and that is not going to happen. Financially, the district improved its net position. You maxed out maintenance reserve, you have a significant capital reserve, you have, you're protected against commission adjustments, and you maintain the maximum 2% of unassigned with a significant adjustment. I would say, from a financial point of view, we're really in an excellent position. Very strong financial position. There's no questions, I'll go into the recommendations.
Any questions on it?
What?
Yeah, yes, you have any questions on this part of the budget? He's gonna go into the smaller book, which is the recommendations.
Okay.
All right?
The smaller book is the recommendations on cultural as quickly as possible. Go to page,
If you go to the small book, the small book.
page 17 of the smaller book. First off, I want to thank Mr. Tevis for helping us out on the audit. It was a tough audit before we changed in personnel. And he really did help us tremendously in completing the audit. I'm going to go through quick, so if you have questions, just ask. On the financial planning, accounting, and reporting, we had 12 recommendations. The first one dealt with claims that were paid that did not have invoices attached, couldn't find them, and a significant number of purchase orders were not signed for received goods. That happens, I'm sorry. Next one is regarding the payroll deduction ledger. We do in-house payroll. We need to keep a detailed accounting of taxes withheld, payroll taxes withheld, and payroll taxes dispersed by individual category, so we know what the balances in the bank account are for. Number 3, the rate of pay for overtime and extra pay really has to be reviewed. It's being calculated, it's very inconsistent on how overtime hours are determined versus straight time. You have to get some consistency and
This was a question that we've all had in finance, right, Jim? And just please sit with Jim and let's look at that, because we had the same question, why this was written up like that. So,
Okay.
if we could just make sure we're on the same page.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
That was number 3.
For the district minutes payroll deposits in the timely manner, we came and we tested all the payroll stuff in the last quarter. We still had a couple that, one that still is late. Can't be late, of course, this morning. Manual issue payroll checks, we test the manual issue payroll checks, look for supporting documentation, they couldn't find the supporting documentation. Gotta have the support. 6 is the unemployment report that we filed. It wasn't calculated properly. We underpaid. It was being calculated based on the reimbursement method, not the contribution method. We underpaid. We probably need to amend those, but we have to start following the correct way. And Mr. Tevis and myself spoke about that. Health benefit contributions and waiver payments, there were some small differences, but there was too many of them that happened. It's not big dollars, but there shouldn't be any, at all, to be honest. Open purchase orders, when we came in to review the open purchase orders, there were a significant number that were invalid. There were purchase orders that were not recorded. There were liabilities that were not recorded. We need to absolutely do a better job at year-end in analyzing our purchase orders, making sure the invalid ones are canceled, and that we record all liabilities and encumbrances. The monthly financial reports to the board, secretaries and treasurers report. We're not in agreement. They need to be reconciled before they're submitted to the board for approval. The deposits into the reserve accounts, that's the capital reserve, maintenance reserve, tuition reserves, They have to be approved in June before you end, they were not approved in July. The treasurer's monthly reports and bank recs properly reflect reconciling items, including all district accounts and including the district's financial records. The CDs, which is a major balance of funds that the district has, were not reported in the treasurer's report. There were invalid reconciling items, there were outstanding checks that were issued in August that were backdated to June. We need to get that resolved. Reimbursement to the state for TPA pension and FICA. When you charge members of the TPAF system to a federal grant, you have to reimburse the state back for the Social Security and pension costs that they pay on your behalf for those teachers. That was not filed when we were here doing the audit. Purchasing definitely needs to improve our procedures over purchasing. A lot of the issues were that the documentation that we were asking for couldn't be found. Like bid documents, we know you went out to bid, it's in the minutes, and no one has some documentation to prove it. Co-op contract award, you have to get the contract award information. We have purchases that require quotes, that confirm the quotes attached. There were contracts, or a contract that had to be, a notification had to be submitted to the Office of the Controller, and that wasn't done. Any contract that exceeds $2.5 million, you just have to notify them. You just tell them how you procured it, and they put it on file. It's the contract for the HVA work here. Preschool program, we have a deficit in the preschool program of $96,000. We lost $29,000, and we have to fund it. We can't want to show deficits. It's different than having a deficit in the general fund. Obviously, it's not severe, but you gotta cover it. And then the program salaries and employee benefits are not being charged to the program. We came in, with Mr. Tevis's help, we were able to determine the teachers that were in that program and the benefits that apply to them. And we then moved those charges into that fund. Those are the recommendations. Obviously, it's quite a few. And we definitely need to improve it, and I'm confident that Mr. Tevis will have a correct answer for you. Any questions?
Who would watch the overtime, access overtime?
Who would watch?
The access overtime.
Overtime is supposed to be approved prior to it happening, and then when it does happen, it gets signed off, that it gets approved that the person did work that overtime.
It's via time sheets. It has to be signed by the supervisor.
But the write-up is not for excess overtime, right? The write-up wasn't for excess. You said excess, right, Frank?
Yes.
So, the write-up is for just the rate of pay.
Yeah, the write-up is for how they're calculating what's overtime hours and
What's straight hours?
It's not that the rate was fine. You calculated the rate, not the rate right. How they apply it to the hours is not consistent.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Mr. Willis.
Thank you very much.
You want to take a recess for a
Yes.
minute to see where we're at?
Yes, please.
That's,
We're just gonna break for like 2 minutes.
you want to step out?
He needs to step out?
Like, or have them step?
Have them
Step
step.
out and have them step. We can just. I just want to talk to you because I'm here is. Yeah, no recording of this.
Thank you.
You have to decide
board report. Since I'm following the audit, I'm going to give you the news that we were given on Tuesday night. There was an update from the superintendent of schools, Dr. Gatens, and he sent the following, we approved his resignation, unfortunately, on Tuesday night. I know a lot of people know that he suffered from a severe heart attack last summer. It was a widowmaker. He really should not have survived that accident, and he did. And his health is just not improving. So the letter went out today to the families of the Leonia and Edgewater community. Dear families, I hope this message finds you well. After much reflection and discussions with my family and medical team, I have made the difficult decision to resign for the purpose of retirement as Leonia Superintendent of Schools at the end of the 24-25 school year. While I'm grateful for my steady and strong recovery following a serious cardiovascular event last year, it has become clear that prioritizing my long-term well-being is essential. My resignation was accepted at last night's Board of Education meeting, which happened actually on Tuesday. This decision was not made lightly, as serving this community has been a great honor. I remain fully committed to my responsibilities throughout the school year and will support the Board of Education in ensuring a smooth transition for my successor. Thank you to the entire school community, students, families, faculty, and staff for their strong support during my tenure as superintendent. Leonia's strength has always lied with the dedicated faculty and staff members who work tirelessly to make a difference in our students' lives, and I'm fully confident the district will continue to thrive in the years to come. With gratitude, Brian P. Gatens. So that went out to the community today. Needless to say, Leonia is a little bit shocked and devastated. He sort of rocked our world over there. And we have posted for a new superintendent of schools, and a posting has gone out. Besides that, Leonia did its audit on Tuesday night, and it was well received. And that is it for the Leonia report. We have two upcoming board meetings. Thursday, February 27th, 2025, here at EVG at 7:30, and then Thursday, March 13th, 2025, also at EVG, also at 7:30. We're just going to move around the agenda a bit, correct?
Yeah.
And we're going to do a vote on the candidates.
That's correct. So what will happen is we have to do a motion to, open.
Yeah, so you have to open the floor for nominations and
Yep.
vote it on the order in which they're nominated. So we need a motion and a second to open the floor. Motion. Favor, open the floor. Then you need nominations.
Make a motion to open the floor nominations.
Second? Second. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Floor is open.
I'd like to nominate Christina Braca.
And I'd like to nominate Chris Tassov.
You don't need a second nomination. He's nominating Christina Racco.
Okay.
Sorry, Tasso. You catch the first name.
Tassov.
Chris.
Chris Tassov.
Tassov,
Sorry about that.
T-A-S-S-E-V.
Chris Tassov, got it, okay. Any other nominations?
I'd like to-
for board candidates?
I'd like to nominate Monica Tesla Solis.
Okay.
What? That's all three.
Any other nominations, right?
I'm voting for one.
We're doing nominations.
Not voting. Nominate, do you nominate, do you nominate one of the candidates?
Oh, okay.
All three candidates have been nominated as
So
this
you
time.
can close the
Okay.
floor.
Yep.
Now you vote
Then
on
just vote.
first.
Okay. So we're gonna have a motion, for, Board of Ed candidate, Christina Rackow.
I'll motion.
Second. Second.
Thank you, Tom.
You take a vote on that.
Okay. Ms. Molina,
Yes.
Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Dr. Corey.
We voting for what?
You're voting for Christina Racco on the nomination.
No.
And Ms. Lamont?
I abstain.
Abstain. All right.
Now you take a roll call vote on, that's all.
Yep. Okay, next roll call on your motion for Board of Ed candidate Chris Tasso.
On motion?
Thank you.
Second.
Any comments, questions? Seeing none, I'm sorry. Ms. Molina?
Yes.
Dr. Corey?
We voting for who?
You're voting for Chris Tassif.
Chris?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Lamont?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Last resolution is for Board of Ed candidate Monica Vega-Gorson. First. Motion and a second.
Do you want to make a motion?
Monica,
You have to make a motion.
yes, I made the motion for Monica, Monica Tesman Solis.
And we need a second.
Second.
Who's?
Right.
Okay. Comments, questions, seeing none? Ms. Lamont?
You're voting-
Yes, yes, I voted.
Dr. Corey?
Yeah.
Ms. Molina?
No.
And Mr. Quinn?
No.
Okay, motion failed. All right, so at this point,
So you have one position filled by
Yes.
Mr. Tasso.
Yes.
Now, we can continue to vote tonight in case anybody is going to change their vote. If they're not, then you can vote it at a, vote or start the process at a future meeting. So we can open the floor, you're the chair of the meeting, you can open the floor for nominations, again, for the two candidates. But recognize that you're gonna need, there's 3 votes that you need, and we can,
I thought it was 4. I thought we all
well,
needed to.
of the existing board members right now, so right now you're 5.
Oh, gotcha.
Remember you have 2 vacancies.
Yes.
And he's not seated yet.
Chris isn't seated yet, so we
Correct,
can't
so we
vote.
still need 3.
So we still need 3 votes.
Mhm. So if the board wishes to table that vote to a future meeting, you can do that. Recognize that you have a statutory requirement to fill that vacancy.
Yes.
So, and I don't know if your next meeting fits within that statutory.
it does.
I think that she said that it did.
It does, okay. So then it's at the pleasure of the board, if you'd like to open the floor for nominations once again and re-vote, or if you want to consider the matter at a future meeting because you don't have the statutory requirement.
Yeah, I think we should just close it and move it till February.
That's fine, I just want to put that out there for you to consider because, you're just split right now,
Yes.
so. But the board is advised that you do have an obligation to fill this for the county, I'm sure you've heard this already, for the county office.
Could
You
you
gotta
repeat
speak
that?
up.
Oh, I have to speak up?
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at projecting.
I apologize. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I had said before was that at the pleasure of the board, you can open nominations once again for the 2 candidates, okay? And you can vote tonight. I said, or the board, at its pleasure, could table the matter. I said the caveat, the cautionary tale is that you are statutorily required to fill the vacancy within 65 days. So I say that to you to say, you know, either we can revote the candidates, or you can carry this, but recognize that you have a timeline on carrying it. This is not something that you can carry forever, because there's a timeline in the statute, and if you fail to approve somebody, the county office will come in and appoint that person. So that's what I had said. I may not have said it loud enough. Hopefully you got me now.
Our next meeting is when?
February 27th.
So we're within the 65 days.
I think
Oh, yeah, you will.
we'll be at
February
within
27th.
65 days.
Yeah, fine.
But at that point, we'll be back to a 6-member board.
Yes.
You could be. I mean, I'm gonna assume that.
He takes his.
Yes.
That he takes his seat, because he is, a sole. He is a approved candidate. By the way,
Yes.
congratulations, but he is, an approved candidate for the position of board member.
Okay,
So then we'll just do
So-
a vote to appoint him.
yes,
correct?
You can, but.
You should table, so you should first table the second vote.
Yes.
to February 22nd.
Yes, but then, subject to, the approval, is it subject to the background checks and everything that has to go on?
yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean,
Well, I didn't write that in resolution. I did not write that in my budget book. That's what I'm doing, attorney.
well, that's why I guess I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm letting this speak into the microphone. So, if the board were to, vote to seat,
If the board were to vote to seat the person, it would have the caveat, because the board member has to undergo a criminal background check as a condition. So, you can do that right now, but recognize he's not gonna be taking his seat formally until he is sworn in, and that he's sworn in after the criminal background check is complete. So we're not gonna be swearing in unless there's, unless someone get a criminal background check in the next 3 minutes. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Okay, all right. So we goofed.
it's okay.
Okay, so, do we need to vote them on the appointment, or?
Well, you have a successful candidate.
Yes,
You can vote on the appointment.
Right.
You already did.
Yes.
He's successful.
Yeah, he's.
right,
So now, he's gonna get a message probably, sorry, I'm gonna say
Chris,
this
you're
loud, I don't
ready.
mean to sound like I'm shouting. He's gonna get a message from the board secretary.
Yes.
The board secretary is gonna say, all right, here's the form you have to
This is
fill
what you need to
out,
do.
this is where you have to go, submit it, once you have it done, we'll do a swearing in at the next
At the
meeting.
February
If
27th.
you do
You
this, maybe I can do it in my
you can swear him in
office.
your office.
No, yeah, he can be sworn in once you get the criminal background check. I mean, unless you
Perfect.
want pictures and all kinds of stuff like that, it can be done right in an office.
Okay, so we will get you set up with.
Yes.
with
Yes,
Mr.
that's not a
Jesus.
problem.
Okay, perfect. So, let's move on to number 5, committee reports.
Well,
Policy.
you're gonna table the
Yeah,
vote.
We're gonna
on the
table the
other
vote,
vacancy.
yes. Do we need to vote on that?
Yes.
So just make a motion to table.
Okay.
Second.
Motion to table the, second candidates, till the February meeting.
Thank you.
Motion to table.
I have a question.
Yes,
I can't come over to you, but you need, there's a motion pending though, Frank, so can't do it now.
we need a second?
We need a second. I just made a motion to table the, vote on the second board position until the February meeting.
Okay, by tabling it,
We're moving it.
It has to come back.
I will not go for it. I want a new applicant.
Okay,
We have to
we
re-advertise.
have to re-advertise.
You're gonna start the process though.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
But tabling it, you can bring the same people back.
No,
No,
It's tabled.
You're tabling the resolution to appoint to the vacant
That's
position.
what I was gonna ask you. You said you don't wanna come near me.
Well, I can't have a private conversation with you, Frank, that's why.
How many times you came to see me?
Let's, please not do this here.
Are you my mother?
No, I'm not your mother.
You're right, appointment.
Then
Please,
why are
let's not-
you getting
Okay,
involved?
can,
I have the right to ask him a question.
But Frank, respectfully, she's the chair of this meeting,
Okay, I'm
okay?
not cursing.
And I can't have a private conversation.
But I wanna know what is the advantage of tabling the vote?
we're
for next
tabling
meeting?
it because we can't come to a determination on the second board member. And I don't wanna sit here all night, so we're going to table it, we're gonna move it to February, and we're gonna continue with the meeting.
And you will advertise for a new member.
We are advertising tomorrow that we are looking for a board member.
Okay.
Yes,
The process is starting over. So you could have 5, you could have 2, you could have 1, you could have.
I just wanna know, I wanna learn from the expert.
okay. So do we have a motion to table by Mr. Quentin? Do we have a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Roll call?
Yep, Mr. Quentin,
Yes,
Dr. Porter,
yes, ma'am.
We're voting
You're
to
voting, yes
table
or
the
no?
motion.
Ms. Marina,
Yes,
and Ms. Lamont.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna move on to 5, which is committee reports. Policy has not met, personnel and negotiations has not met, curriculum, technology, and diversity, equity, and inclusivity committee has not met. Tom, do you want to give an update from finance, buildings and grounds, and strategic planning?
Yeah, basically, finance, the audit was done, that was most of our discussion, at our finance meeting was about the audit. We're financially stable. As you see, we got a big bills list tonight, because there was a few months of, bills that were behind. We've caught up pretty much up to, January. Pretty much that's it. The big issue, big discussion we had was on the audit. And the audit is, we are financially stable. We're in a good position right now, as you heard from the audit. Anything else?
Just, quick progress on the facility projects.
The facility,
yes.
Proposed 25, 26 facility.
yes, I'm sorry, but, we have a couple projects on the agenda, on the horizon. Hopefully, as long as we can get them going for over the summer. I don't want to be specific on the ones, but we're talking about this, the auditorium, we've been talking about the, media center, some upgrades outside.
If I could add to that.
Go ahead.
Just real quick, I did speak to the architect today. She sent over initial proposal timelines on some of the projects that we're looking at, the major ones. And it's looking like it's gonna be difficult to pull it off by the summer because of lead times. For example, the media center furniture, the lead times are so long, and the supplies are so backed up.
Supply chain.
Right, but, again, I have to have further discussions with them, but I just wanted to put that on your horizon, if that's a possibility. But there are other things that we can do,
Right.
and other projects.
Maybe some smaller projects.
Exactly, that we can get them somewhere.
And I think with the media center too, we were talking about what resources that we have that are already in the building that we can use,
Right.
because of that. So let's take a look at all of that, but that sounds great.
Our next meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna move on to item 6, public comments on agenda items only. I'm gonna ask that you keep it to a maximum of 3 minutes per person, with a total of 10 minutes maximum. Please stand, state your name and address for the record, please.
Motion, open the meeting for vote.
Second, please.
Hold it.
Oh, okay, thank you. Any questions on agenda items? Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any public comment?
Anastasia MacArthur, sorry, I missed the beginning.
Can
I'm
you
sorry.
just stand up, state your name and address?
Anastasia MacArthur, 395 Undercliff. Do I really have to?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Gotta say.
You have to break the ice, right?
Anastasia MacArthur, 395 Undercliff. Question to business administrator, when the audit will be available to public review?
Oh, I'll be posting that to the website, probably by Monday. Oh, yeah, there's no, now that it's been approved by the board, there's no reason to.
Thank you. Any other questions on agenda items? No? Motion to close to public?
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on, action items, minutes. We have 1M and 2M.
Make a motion, move as a block.
Second,
Who's my motion?
Tom.
Second.
Second.
So I'm gonna ask for any discussion, but I'm gonna also prelude to say that the executive session that was held on December 12th, there's only 2 of us here that were at that meeting. So should we pull 1M?
It's your executive session. No, you don't have to actually be present to vote.
Okay,
on that.
perfect. Okay, so do you wanna do a roll call?
Yep. Mr. Quinton?
Yes.
Mrs. Lamar?
Yes.
Dr. King? Dr. Court?
We're voting on the minutes from the
One
two
minute,
previous
one minute.
meetings.
Page 6 of the agenda.
Where are we? I'm sorry.
Page 6
You're
of
on-
the agenda.
No, no, where are you in?
You're voting.
No,
I think Frank voted yes.
Okay.
You did vote, yes, sorry.
Did you?
You voted, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
And, Ms. Lemon?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Action item contracts and membership, we have none. Action item finance, we have 1 through 13. Can I get a motion to move these as a block?
I'll make a motion.
Motion.
Myself and so, you got that?
I got it, thank you.
You want to have all the finance.
Any discussion? No?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Clinton?
Yes.
Ms. Lamont?
Yes.
Dr. Corey?
Yeah.
And Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Action item education, we have none. Action item out of district transportation. We have 1 through 4.
Motion.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Clinton?
Yes.
Ms. Lamont?
Yes.
Dr. Corey?
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Action item personnel, we have 1 through 7.
Motion as a
And a
block.
second.
Second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Clinton?
Can
Oh, sorry, any discussion?
I, just on the two, want to point out the two retirees that are on here for the end of the school year, Ms. Moranis and Ms. Vega. I was hoping that my granddaughter could have Mrs. Vega next year, but unfortunately she's leaving. She's gonna be missed. She's been here for, how many years did she have total? 30, between the two of them, 60-something years of service between the two of them. Both of them will be missed. I'd like to wish them their best on retirement, but I will see them before the end of the year.
Absolutely. And we will have them in.
Miss Moranis and Miss Vega, Joy Vega and Patricia Moranis, both George Washington school teachers. They've been here for 30 years each. And both of my kids and my granddaughter.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Clinton?
Yes.
Ms. Lamont?
Yes.
Dr. Corey?
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Action item policies, we have none. Action items administration, we have 1 through 7A. Can I get a, whoa, oh, sorry, we have 1 through 9A, but we're going to pull the committees until our February meeting. So,
If I could, Mr. Mayor?
Oh.
I purposely split these into 2 separate votes on the
Yes.
agenda for that purpose for you. So,
Okay.
for you to take 1 through 7.
okay, that's what I thought,
Okay.
okay. Because they're, no, because they're both under administration, that's why I think that's why they got confused.
Right.
Okay,
Motion
So-
for one as a block.
as a block for 1 through 7A,
Make a motion.
and a second?
Just one question about the section 2A.
Yeah? Wait, do we have a second?
Yeah, I second.
Okay, thank you. Well, the question is on 2A? So every year, the Board of Education puts an ad congratulating the graduates from Edgewater and the Leone yearbook.
Okay. And then we are paying 220.
Yes, it's $225 per page, and I believe we get a discounted rate for the yearbook. We don't pay what a parent pays for a yearbook.
Okay. Thank you.
Also discussion, just the 3A, I just want to read that, I might. Resolve that upon the recommendation of the chief school administrator, the Edgewater Board of Education accept the donation of 6 guitars from the Edgewater Free Public Library for the music curriculum in memory of Melly Statsko. For those of you that don't know, Melly was a 8-year-old child. She was a student at George Washington School. Melly and her mom were found deceased in their apartment on December 25th of 2015. Melly had just reached her 8th birthday, and one of her birthday gifts from her mom was a guitar and guitar lessons. Melly was very excited to learn how to play. She also had a fondness for horses. With help from her friends, classmates, and the Edgewater community, a group of parents set up a memorial service for Melly, where her and her mom were both honored. The gift of the guitars with the horse plaque on them were donated by funds from our local Edgewater community to the Edgewater Library, so children could take lessons and utilize the guitars. It is now the privilege of the Edgewater Board of Education to receive these guitars in Melly's memory. May they be used and enjoyed for years to come, and may we never forget the names and lives of Melly and Melissa Statsko, who were lost too soon. If I can just ask for a moment of silence in memory of Melly and Melissa. Thank you. Can we do roll call, please?
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Ms. Lamont?
Yes.
Dr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Lane?
Yes.
Motion.
Great, thank you. So action items administration, we're gonna pull 8A and 9A until, our February 27th meeting.
You want a motion for it?
Yeah,
Motion.
and a second. Roll call, please.
You said, okay, hold, sorry.
Sorry.
A little bit ahead of me.
Okay. Yes, yes,
And we're gonna
we're
postpone.
pulling it.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
bringing it back.
We're gonna, yes, we'll postpone until. February.
Yes.
Postpone that. All right, let me have this on. Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Lamont?
Yes.
Dr. Corey?
Yes.
And Ms. Xavier?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Action item grants and compliance, we have one. Can I get a motion? And a second. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Fuentes?
Yes.
Ms. Lamont? Dr. Corey?
Yes.
And Ms. Xavier?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Action items, buildings and grounds, we have none. Action item, new business, we also have none. Can we make a motion to open it up to public comment on anything, it doesn't have to be an agenda item? Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Open it up to anybody from the public who would like to ask a question. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, motion to close public session,
Motion.
and a second, please. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And motion to adjourn. Yep,
I hate to do this, especially with Frank. Frank, I don't need to do
do
this.
we have to go into closed?
I think you wanna close,
Okay,
okay, for legal.
okay,
And we're, no action will
no
be
action
taken.
taken?
We're gonna turn from there,
Great.
okay?
Yep.
So you should vote on that. No action will be taken. We're gonna adjourn from there. Frank, I want you out of here as soon as possible to get well, so quick.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session, no action will be taken.
Yep, and a second.